Probably swearing's probably not the best way to go, right? All right, I need to fix this. All right, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and start recording and go from there. Okay, so. Hey everyone, I'm the Nerd Doctor here to diagnose what's wrong with your RPG games and here to help you fix it. So, today I'm going to be talking about DC20 Forge's custom magic item builder. But before we can talk about the custom magic item builder, we need to talk about DC20's magic items. So, really cool concept here, and one of the big things that I really want to highlight about this is that we all, as DMs, run into the same problem. What items should I give my players when, when should there be common, uncommon, rare, legendary, all of these titles that were given to magic items in D&D that we're just like, oh, well, these are cool names, cool identifiers, but they tell us absolutely nothing about when players should get them at what levels, and if you've been a DM along in your life, you've been in a situation where you might have given someone an item too early, and that item went ahead to break your game. And so, and this is the thing that I keep harping on. And I'm not trying to bash D&D when I say this, but I see it all the time, and I'm just repeating what Alan said at this point because it's been a common theme. Like, I've had videos I've released that talk about this. Alan said it in his live stream the other day, but there's so many YouTubers and video streamers out there that just talk about how easily you can break the game in D&D, and that's really what DC20 that's really what DC20 tries to fix, is that concept of breaking the game and giving DMs the guidance. If you want to give players something more powerful than they should have early on, that is totally up to you, but at least you know what you're doing. So let's talk magic items in DC20. So magic items all come with magic properties, and the magic properties are assigned a power level. And you can make DC20 as simple or as crunchy as you want. And I say that because I hear some people's criticism of DC20 is, oh, it's really crunchy. It's like, or it just answers the questions that you would commonly have. Like, let's just, again, for example, what happens when you're trying to make a cursed magic item? Well, right here, magic item that bear a cursed magic property are called cursed items. These magic properties don't count against the number of magic properties a magic item can possess. Okay, it goes into more detail about curses later down here, cursed items. While you're holding, wearing, or attuned to a cursed item, you're subjected to the curse unless stated otherwise within the item. It's that items that require attunement typically require you to attune to the item before the curse is applied to you. So, and I'm pretty sure there's at least one more little excerpt in here about it, but I just want to go into say that he does a really good job of trying to answer all your questions in his rule books in a very easy to understand, common sense type of way. But going back to magic power real quick, so magic power is the gauge of how powerful a magic item is. And a magic item is made up of the total magic power of its properties. Now, how many magic properties can be applied to an item? Well, in DC20, only 3 magic properties can be applied to an item. So you can't get really crazy about it, but believe me, 3 is more than enough to get a significant amount of magic power. And right on here, you'll see that there are some magic properties that require no magic power. And you can only have one of those per magic item. Similarly, how when you're building an ancestry, there are certain ancestry traits that have 0 cost. Well, you can only have 1 or 2 of those. I don't remember off the top of my head if it's 1 or 2, but you get the idea is that you can't just spam a bunch of 0 properties onto an item. And then some magic properties have a variable magic power, and that's based on usually the number of charges. Like it might be 2 power per charges that this has, and you just have to choose the number of charges that it gets when you make it, thereby giving you the amount of magic power. So if it's 2 per charge, then it's a minimum of 2 because it has to have a charge. But there's one other huge thing that I want to highlight here, and that was his concept of when to give it. Let me see. And I don't remember off the top of my head what it was or where it was in this document. But the biggest thing that he goes on to say is that when you are assigning magic items, the magic item power level shouldn't exceed a player's combat mastery. And so for those of you who don't know, combat mastery is half of your character level. So that's your guide right there. You can give titles a legendary or whatever, but what's so cool about what DC20 is they do everything by the numbers. They do everything by the math. What are the stats? Is there a balance in the game? And they make no difference whether they are working with magic items, monster power, or anything like that. Sup, Syed? So the main thing is that I wanted to just emphasize here before I get into going into the custom magic item builder is just the balance that they go with when it comes to DC20. And they even have magic item durability. Now this isn't finished in my opinion because he merely tells you how much they resist damage. It doesn't tell you how much damage it takes to destroy a magic item, but I'm sure that'll come up in a future update. But let's head over to the magic item builder. So magic item page, create them custom item builder. So just like every other basically custom builder in DC20 Forge, the custom builders are all unlocked at the adventure tier. But this is kind of like your one-stop shop for building any kind of items. There are a few different variations of it. We have the custom armory and the custom equipment. DC20 isn't fully out yet, so the create custom equipment is just a little shorthand of creating just about any item you can think of. Like a crowbar, for example, is not in the DC20 book yet, so you could create a crowbar in here. Or if there's ever an item that isn't in here, you can create it in here. And then we have the custom armory. Now, this custom armory is also in the magic item builder, but this is more mundane. One of the cool things about DC20 is your ability to create custom weapons. Just for an example, like I created a sword whip before. And with the sword whip, this is a weapon, but I can make this armor, shield, spell focus, whatever. I don't really care about the weight right now or the cost, but this sword whip can function as a sword or a whip. But I'm going to make this a longsword. A longsword that has the multifaceted property. That's what I want. Multifaceted property. Give me a second style of whip. There we go. I have a sword that functions as a sword and a sword that functions as a whip. The guard property, I like the guard property. I'm good with that. Two-handed? No, it doesn't have to be used two-handed. This is a whip. Unwieldy, disadvantage. Attacks made with weapon against targets within one space. I could put that. If I wanted to get something else out of it, I could put that. And then I'd hit create item. Simple, easy, preview. Here it is. Longsword, 1 slash damage, sword whip. My 2 things, my properties. Simple, easy. How is the campaign coming along? Great question. Just a quick caveat. I started doing a live stream build with it at the same time. And so I'm doing that on Fridays right now is kind of tentatively where I've put that. The biggest hurdle that I have with that campaign right now is just the 10 origin stories I'm putting in it. It's ambitious, but I think it's going to be make it that much better to have the origin stories and kind of start people off at novice level and bring them to level 10. My timeline is probably going to be similar to when DC20 will be released in terms of release, because if I can get the origin stories up to level, because he's coming out with level 6 in the next few months, up to level 6 done, and then just release levels of chapters every time he comes out with a new level. That way when DC20 is fully out, my campaign will fully match it. But anyway, circling back to great custom magic item. So everything I just did, honestly, with the basic weapon stuff, you can do in here. Now this is for more adding magical properties to something than anything else. But the difference between the custom magic item builder and the custom armory that I just showed you is that the custom armory is included with the base rules. So you don't need a, you just need the base rules. You don't need a subscription in order to use that. I actually don't even know if you even need the DC20 rulebook. You might just be able to be a free user and make those custom items. Just because it comes with levels 1 and 2. But it just allows you to, there's certain features that you want to get out of certain weapons that aren't, classically in the book. You can structure them that way. It's all flavor anyway, and you can kind of make it up as you go along. But magic items. So let's just start with a weapon, and I'm a sword guy. So let's just go with a short sword for the moment. Guard, impact. I am good with those properties. I don't need anything more than that. Now the big thing that I really want to get to, and this is the held spell slot. So sorry, the held equipment slot. And I know we haven't talked about it, but if you haven't seen in DC20, there are actual equipment slots on the character sheet, so you can keep track of what you have attached and everything like that. And when it comes to attunement, it's usually equal to your prime modifier. So your attunement slots go up as you level up. It's not just always 3, like in D&D. All right, properties. So this is divvied up into a number of different things, from weapon properties to utility, constitution, vision, movement, damage, suppression, anything like that. So this is a weapon, so let's see what kind of properties we have here. I'm not using a ranged weapon, so I don't care about that. Change damage type, critical hardborn. You deal +2 damage when you hit a structure or an object. Okay, no, I don't care about that. When you score a critical hit with this weapon, target becomes subjected to a condition. I kind of like that one. Bleeding. Let's do that. So this will cause the bleeding condition when hit. They'll probably have to do a save. When I score a critical hit, they gain a bleeding condition. So I'm good with that. And I can do that a few different times, but let's just say I only want one weapon thing here. And what's Constitution? Health. Wound closure, regeneration. At the start of each of your turns, you can spend 1 charge to regain 2 HP. I like that. So right now we're dealing with a item that has a... oh, apparently I'm keeping my wife up. Oh, sorry, babe. Actually, I gotta talk quieter, guys. Good thing there's a microphone right here. Oh, you can hear my dog in the background, maybe. Okay, so going with this is so basically this item right now has a power level 2. So as long as my combat mastery is 2, I can use this weapon, or not that I can use any. I think any level can use a weapon. However, this is just the guidance for when do you want to give players this type of weapon. So at this point, combat mastery 2. There we want to be dealing with a level 4 or higher. So someone who's level 4 or higher would get a weapon like this. But if you also want to know if something's underwhelmed, well, a combat power of 2, combat mastery of 2, that's going to increase to 3 at level 6. That's still not bad, but as soon as you're starting to get to level 8, this might be a little bit underwhelming at that point. But this power level structure just really gives you an idea of when it's appropriate to be giving certain type of items. And if you're like me, who, like, don't get me wrong, the books come out with really great stuff, but for me, I like to give players things that really suit their characters, and this just isn't always made like that. But those are your custom properties that I'm giving this particular item, and obviously this goes on and on. There are so many different properties. I wonder, Liam, does anyone know how many properties there are? Let me see if I can. Let's just go to count them. Not in here though. We're gonna go to my resources real quick, and we're going to go to, and if you ever want this list, and I am updating this as it's getting updated. All right, here's all of our properties. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not going to count all these. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You know what? It might be shorter hand. Let's just try this. I don't want to count all these on stream. Nope, sorry. That was the wrong button. I want my artificer and infusions. Does it list the total? No. But you can see there are a ton of properties. So if the name of the game is customizing, then this is where you want to be, the custom magic item builder. Let's see, I'm pretty sure novice is still at MD. Syad, technically yes, but it's really easy to extrapolate down on that because the calculations are already there. So it's really easy to switch that over, and I've updated the level 0 and the origins. Obviously, it's a kind of a me update, not a him update, but I've updated it in DC20 Forge so that you can play it even at ADPD, and even if you go in a character builder, you'll still get to use it like that. Is it 100%? No, but I think I was able to extrapolate it down to what it was supposed to be. Builder looking good. Update the monster stuff with what I sent you, and you will pull ahead of DC Crit. I know I need to. So there's two things. So I've really been, as you can see, there are a lot of infusions and magic properties. My biggest goal has been to make sure that these are all working. It is also very daunting, but like I feel like once I overcome that, it won't be as big of a deal. So, but I have been keeping an eye on your monster stuff. I might move that to the head of the line, but we shall see, Liam. We shall see. But yeah, no, you hear from Arkan Forge. I haven't heard from them. I gave them my JSON. I think I need to send them an updated one to incorporate, but they haven't come back to me with saying when it would be connected. I did talk to Mirror Forge to give anyone who's watching this particular video a little bit of preview. I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's a lot in the background kind of going on right now. But to give, since you guys are here, and I love my streaming people, the guys at Mirror Escape I'm working closely with. They're still trying to finish up a project, so it'll probably be like 5 to 6 months before they start to really dig into DC20 Forge and its connection. But so here's what we're doing. I'm basically going to use these next 5 to 6 months to clean up as much of DC20 Forge as I can, obviously updating it with the new additions as they come out. And then I am going to be transitioning to, and also simultaneously, I've been using some softwares like Opus Clip to take some of my old videos and really push them out there. I'm spamming YouTube, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook with clips from some of my old videos. So all DC20 related right now, because like one, I want to hype up DC20. Two, I want to see if I can get my follower count and my and all that up. And here's why. We're just trying to push hard. My goal is if I can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, or at least 1,000 unique subscribers, followers across all of my channels. Once I hit that, I'm at a pretty good spot. And DC and by the 6 month mark, the Mirror Forge should be ready. And then me and a few of my friends are going. I know I'm taking a long time to say this. I'm just trying to make sure I don't. Again, I'm not trying to jinx anything, but a few of my friends that I play with, we're gonna run a live streamed campaign through Mirror Forge. So we'll be playing DC20 and in person, but the combat map will be Mirror Forge, and that's what we're gonna run. Like we're gonna try to run anywhere between 5 and 10 kind of proof of concept sessions, with Mirror Forge and DC20 Forge all kind of working together, and see if we've got a following for it, because we might. This is again putting the cart before a horse. Need subscribers. Need the DC20 Forge stuff to go off without a hitch. And but the idea is that maybe we do a live streamed campaign through Mirror Forge, DC20 Forge, to promote DC20 and DC20 Forge and Mirrorscape all at the same time. So that's kind of like what we're working towards over the next 6 months. It's going to be quite the ordeal updating all the spells. Maybe I've actually developed a really good back-end function into DC20 Forge for me. Because the way, just to show you an example, for people who know. And I had to structure it in a weirder way in the core rules to kind of get it to work a certain way. Nope, it's spells. There we go. So spells. So here is to organize it. This is how I sorted them. Now you can come here and you can see the whole main lists, spells sorted by sources. And then obviously every source has their own school, has each school and spells in each school. So going through and updating these individual pages was a pain. And so this is less difficult. This is a little bit more difficult part. But I have one other secret location in here, right in here, my content manager. I'll show you my content manager used for extracting things. I've had some. This is how I was able to do a lot of things so quick, because I had some extracting built-in stuff in here that helped turn things into documents, extracting modules, extracting rulebooks. It's not perfect, but it gets things done. And here are my spells, all of them. And I can come in and update them however I need, previewing how they look in the character page, this is so important. It's just seeing how it looks in the character page, seeing how it looks on the spell page. So, and I can create new ones. So the book is less like more people like if they have the book, they're not going to spend a lot of time in the resource book. They're going to come here. So I will have the content out in the spell book content manager first, and they'll slowly update the book later. To help get you more attention, we should play some one-shots on YouTube. If we play all the published adventures and show off how the Forge improves experiences, we will get eyes on the site. I absolutely agree, and so that's something I'm also planning on doing with. I want to try to plan that with you, Kaibo, and Onyx, and I think there was one other person. It wasn't. Who was it? You, Kaibo, Onyx, and there was one other Dragon Forge. Very short-lived Dragon Forge. Who was it? Neutral Lion? Yeah, Neutral Lion. So I wanted to reach out to you four, and I'm working on getting the Hunted in DC20 Forge. I just have to extract it. So in order of like things I'm trying to get done right now for DC20 Forge, I just cleaned up a bunch this afternoon, and I announced this earlier, but now sorcery, yep. So now we've got this. Number one is this. this attack check, spell check, martial check. I know you technically have attack check and spell check separately, but it's the same number. But anyways, I separated these out in here, and because I have this organized in 2 pages, making this side a little bit longer is not that big a deal, or a little bit bigger is not that big a deal. And I added this because obviously we want to be able to distinguish when certain spell focuses, and I'm sure at some point different weapons may affect attack checks or attack checks or martial checks, just like spell focuses affect spell checks and spell attacks. So the crystal affects you gain a +1 bonus to hit with spell attacks. So that's what you benefit from with the crystal. With the grimoire, you get a +1 bonus. Oh, this one has both of them. So grimoire has +1 bonus to spell attacks. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. Show off this. Spell focuses. Here we go. Grimoire. Oh no, it has all 3. Look at that. That was a terrible example. All right. See how easy it is to look up the rules in the rule book? Right? So yeah, grimoire increases the attack check and spell check. So there you go. I was really just looking for a spell focus that just did. Like, see, 2-handed spell focus. This should have more attacks on it. Tis. I was just looking for a single channeling. That would be the orb. I'll just make sure this works too. Orb. Yep. +1 here. Boom. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So I just updated this whole thing, so it works a little bit better. Also, check it out. I'm gonna drag this. Let me see if I can get it to work. It was working. Oh, you know what? I might have to do. Let's just do a quick little update on this. Might had to have refreshed. Okay, not working. It's working elsewhere, so I don't know why it's not working here. Maybe it's because of the app. Oh wait, here we go. Okay. Working, but not in the way that we would like. So if you drag to a position, it will slide, which will be really good for when you are on the app. Make it a little bit easier. But it appears that you have to kind of pull from the side of it, which is weird. You should be able to pull the button. So I will figure that one out. Don't want you just holding it down. That's going to be, yeah, I'll figure that one out. But anyways, I think I did a sufficient job of showing off the custom magic item builder. So you're going to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie this weekend. I'm hyped. So Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's funny you say that because my nephews have been absolutely obsessed with Super Mario, the movie, and they've been watching it nonstop. So I can honestly say I probably won't be doing that because what is happening this weekend is our gender reveal, and technically Easter, and potentially I might be playing D&D on Sunday. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, we have our gender reveal on Saturday. So we had a bunch of cake pops. We're gonna bite in. We're gonna find out if it's a boy or a girl. And next time you guys hear from me maybe not Friday. Friday's live stream will be the module builder. And so Syed, if you're still in here, if you want to see me building, assuming you don't want to play it, come on to the live stream on Friday morning. I do it bright and early. I wake up early, so I would do it bright and early. I didn't know you had a little one on the way. Yeah, yeah. You might have missed the announcement, or maybe I never did the announcement. I don't know, but yeah, my wife's expecting now, so yeah, we're gonna find out the gender on Saturday, and it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. But that's what we'll be doing then. So there'll definitely be no Super Mario this weekend. We've also got I gotta head up, pick up her. We're slowly moving into the new space, so I gotta head up to our parents' house and pick up her couch on Friday afternoon, and then come down. And then I will be going over to. We'll be waiting for my brother to arrive. As soon as he arrives, we'll do the gender reveal, and then we'll probably wrap up and relax for the night. But yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Also, if you're watching this, I am on April 15th running DC20's Shade Willow at OSR Con in Chelmsford, Massachusetts at 8 a.m. So come say hi or join if you are from New England and you want to play some DC20. All right, I want to go back to the Magic Item Builder real quick because I want to make sure I just didn't miss anything. But Flaming Sword of Justice as an example. But yeah, it actually impresses me how much or how many magical property they came out with. Like, they really didn't leave any room. They left a lot of room for making custom items, but they didn't leave a lot of room for making custom properties. You know what I mean? Like, I have this custom abilities just in case it didn't have anything. But I wonder if, and I think the one thing that I'm missing from this here is an impact on the stats, right? I'm gonna have to make. There's no custom properties in here. Yeah. So this is something else. This is I have to add in. If you want to make a custom property and you want to have it affect the stats, like for instance, this might be getting ahead of myself, but custom ancestries. You can create a custom one. 1.2 points. Describe what the trait does. Am I missing something? Something's missing because I added this in. I'm gonna have to. All right, let's see if it ended up in here. Doesn't really matter what we're doing here. Add effect. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. So this is add mechanical effects, right? So if something were to affect HP, PD, and everything like that, this mechanical effect stuff, I need to copy that, paste it to my board. Meaning if you create a class feature or an ancestry feature or a magic item, and you want its property to affect one of these things that exist on the character sheet, then this mechanism is designed to help do that. So like when you have it equipped, it will show where it's supposed to show. If it's a sense, it'll show up in the senses. If it's a language, it'll show up in the language. If it affects your skills, traits, because I needed to make something that would do that when you make custom stuff. Because what's the point of making custom stuff that doesn't affect your character sheet that way? So that's what this mechanical effect here is. And I do need to add that to the custom magic item builder, so you can expect to see that within the next couple days. Not just there, but also in the ancestries page on the create custom ancestry. Talents, I'm pretty sure I have it in here. Oh my God. Do I know? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. It's in the talents. So weird that it's not showing up in 2 other places. Yep. The only things I haven't really added to when it comes to custom builders, and I know this is highly desired, but custom spells and custom maneuvers are the two places I obviously don't have custom stuff made, and it's really just a matter of trying to get a full understanding of how to build spells. And I know they're still coming out with like an update and tweaks after this. So I want to make sure just I know these really, really well before I add in custom maneuvers and custom spells, because I know people will love to make some. So yeah, that is, and I've pretty much dove into all the custom builders tonight. But that is the benefit of the adventure tier of DC20 Forge, is that you can come in here and just create. I think this is one of the things that DC20 Forge has to offer that other digital companions for DC20 just don't right now. Which, a lot of them are focused on creating custom monsters, and we have that. I know Elitem's just gonna tell me I have to update it. But the thing about everything else, like where your custom I haven't seen like custom magic item builders or custom traits or anything like that elsewhere. So I think this is one of the huge benefits of DC20 Forge, is that you truly are getting the whole spirit of what DC20 is meant to be, and that's the customization aspect. Just to kind of circle all the way back to DC20 can be as simple or as complicated as you desire it to be. One of my friends said, "Oh yeah, it's more complicated." And I'm like, "Well, you like playing 3.5." I 100% agree. It's more complicated, and not in the sense that 3.5 is an example of like thousands of feats that you can get, but combat is similar to D&D. You have your action, your bonus action, your movement. Now, there are some nuances in 3.5 that are not in D&D. Like there is a rule about running, movement, and tackling. They definitely get into some nuances in 3.5. Personally, I think a lot of those nuances are much harder to remember, not super obvious, like not common sense in a sense, if you get my meaning, and more complicated. Because when I was trying, I'm like, I still don't remember what those rules are. But in DC20, like it's simple as hey, I want to check out the weaknesses. Okay, roll analyze creature, roll insight. If you want to run, if you want to move, you have 4 actions to move. If you want to move, you have 2 actions to move and 1 action to tackle. It doesn't. I say way too much, and you don't know. It's a bad habit. I gotta fix it. I hear myself on video all the time. Do it way too much. But you have all these actions. Anything you can think of in terms of an action, you can pretty much find in this list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 8. No, sorry, 9 times 3, 27. So 27 actions just here. 2 reactions. List of minor actions. So, you don't know. You've got this list. It's very simple to just choose from this list in DC20. And even if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can attack, you can move, you can cast a spell, you can move, and that is it. You can limit yourself to 2 actions if that's all you want. Now, who isn't going to take the object action? You're going to have to interact with something at some point. That's where you're going to get that. But I want to investigate. How many times are you playing D&D? You're like, hey, do I see anything? Can I look around? It's your action to do that. Well, what a waste of a turn if you're in the middle of combat. Well, you know what? I'm going to take an investigate action. I'm going to attack, and I'm going to move. And you know what? For good measure, I'm going to dodge because I'm investigating. I don't want to get hit while I'm investigating, so I'm going to do that. And you can do all 4 of those things in your turn. Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. DC20 makes the complicated simple. Yes, Liam, I 100% agree. That's why I chose it as my D&D replacement. When did you choose your D&D? When did you decide you had to do a D&D replacement? Like I think I chose like my I'm gibberish right now. Can't get my thought through my head. I decided like I needed a D&D replacement before the whole drama happened with D&D Beyond. Like I ran into so many situations where I had people breaking the game. I ran into so many situations where even I was like trying to I was trying to make a character, and like my brother wanted to play a Witcher. I was trying to make a Witcher style character, and I couldn't really find the flavor. Like the Monster Slayer was like the closest, but even then, like not so much. Blood Hunter, it was like between the two of those. I really couldn't get the feel that I was looking for. And now I come over to DC20 and I've got the monster. Maybe he did this. I'm sure he did this on purpose, but he's got the Hunter class, which has concoctions, the Monster Hunter concoctions, as a subclass. And I'm sure it was 100% on purpose, but like that's exactly the Witcher feel that you can go for, and it's very easy with DC20 to branch out and have a few magical spells and abilities and ancestry traits at the same time. Like you can, like my brother, he chose a half elf just so that he could get dark vision, but in DC20 you can just take an ancestry trait that gives you dark vision. So it's so easy to get what you are trying to get. Like if you just want to play the base rules, you can. But if you as soon as you, I feel like the base rules are for people who are just learning, and then once you've kind of had a taste of it, that's a mean thing. I don't mean it. If that's coming off wrong, I do apologize. But I just feel like people kind of have in this head what they want to be, and the base rules rarely cover exactly what that is. And in DC20, you can build it. You can, whether it's you're always going to start with a class, but then you can take the multi-class. You can take talents that are going to get you the feel that you're looking for, ancestry traits that are going to get you what you feel. You can take paths, whether it's spellcaster or martial, to get what you want. And again, like I say that, and I hear a lot of people like my DM. He's like, that just sounds so complicated. I'm like, it's really not. Like it sounds more complicated than it is. But if you use the DC20 Forge character creator, you'll see how easy it is. After playing Baldur's Gate, playing the D&D system in game form made the flaws very apparent to me. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. My original transition was actually from D&D to ICRPG, and because I liked the simplicity of it, and again the customization. I just felt it was very easy, and I actually transitioned because I was at the time I didn't really have a group, and I made a DM-less version of ICRPG, so that even when I could play by myself, and even when I had a group, maybe we could play without a DM if we wanted to. And then I even was able to hack it and make and we played Out of the Abyss. We played my DM-less version, but I played as the DM. So I just took my system and I played it. We had a good time. My players liked some of the customization from it, but they wanted a little bit more. And then when DC20 came out and we checked it out, we kind of converted it end game. And the combat was so cool. Also, I had a player that wanted to be a sorcerer that can shapeshift and use daggers. You have to jump through so many hoops to make that happen in D&D. Yeah, I mean, like, it is not. I think it is so weird how in D&D, like, certain classes only have certain weapons they can be proficient in. It's like, why? Why does that have to be the way that they are? Like, this is a game about customization and fantasy. Like DC20, you can choose. You have mastery in all weapons. You can choose whatever weapon you want to use. And DC20, I could make that build at level 2. Yeah. I was like when I started my playing in this campaign, I've been playing with this guy for the past year. The one I talked about in my most recent video, which was a great campaign. We actually started off that campaign in D&D 5e, and I knew what concept I wanted to go with. I was playing an assassin build, and I hated D&D's assassin, and I tried to convince my DM to switch to DC20. He wasn't having it. He refused to learn a new system, and fast forward, his system, the one that he loves the most, is 3.5. So we did that, and it's fine. It's better than D&D. To be fair, his game is heavy on the role play, not so much on mechanics. So it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, look, everyone has their preferences. All right, I'm not trying to convince you that DC20 is the best out there, even though it is. But everyone has their preferences. Stick to your preferences. At the end of the day, it's all about the role play. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who just love to play in combat. They love the strategy of combat. And if you're a strategy combat person, DC20 is where you want to be. And this is where I like to say, like, if you are heavy role play type player, it does not matter what system you use, because the mechanics don't do anything for that. Like, your DM will call for whatever rolls you got to make, and you got to do that. But if you are a combat heavy person, if you want a strategic, fun combat, I do not know what could beat DC20. And I've looked. I've seen draw steals. I really don't like Dagger Hearts combat. Like there's just no turn thing where like one person could just spam going over and over and over again. And don't get me started on D&D combat. Okay, all right. Got a few minutes left. Got any questions, Liam? I feel like I gotta wrap up since I was waking up my wife. When we move into our new place, like it's a small place. I'm wondering if she's gonna make it, or if I'm gonna get murdered on a live stream for waking her up. Because she goes to bed early. She goes to bed. Well, she's also pregnant right now, so she's obviously falling asleep early. Like, she's normally passing out by like 8 p.m. 8 p.m. EST. My thing's being so weird right now. Why isn't it? Is there a way for me to kind of update this? No. All right. My restream chat isn't updating to show me who's even in my chats. It's so weird. So weird. I'll be a few minutes late. So am I. Oh, Jeff. Oh, does Jeff have the wrong link? Oh, Jeff. No. No, Jeff, no. We missed you. Did you have the wrong link? Or was Jeff just silent tonight? Oh, it's just me and you, Liam, right now. I'm like checking who's dropping in, who's watching. Not as much. No love on the Twitch yet. I only just started streaming on Twitch though, so it doesn't matter. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap up then. If there's no more questions, my friend, since it's just me and you, when I told him about how you can make a muscle wizard in DC20, his response was, if they fight with their hands, they are not a wizard. They are a monk. I think I told you about this. Maybe I didn't. But I do like some of the I like third party content creators in DMD. Like they tend to come up with some really cool fun ideas. And I think it was either Hit Point Press or Mage Hand Press. I don't remember which one. But Vlada's Spire of Secrets or something like that. They came out with a barbarian wizard. And the whole concept of this barbarian wizard subclass was he would cast spells, but not really. He would just call it like fireball and then like throw a torch in your face or something like that. Like he would do something like physical. Like I cast Iron Hand and then just some very funny concepts when it comes to and that's the only I would say if there is one thing about DC20 that I am a little lost on, it would be the subclasses. Like the way that they do it is obviously like the way D&D does it. Obviously, is like you're kind of your subclasses are themed around other classes, whereas in DC20 Forge, your subclasses are more like a specialist of your class, which just makes sense. But I don't like if I were to come up with a subclass, I wouldn't even know where to start. And maybe it's just because I haven't. We've only gotten 2 plus the Paragon. Maybe I just need to see more before I wrap my head around it and start kind of customizing and making subclasses, because there are like to me it just seems like, okay, you have the summoner, and then every subclass could be like a summoner special. Like I summon celestials, I summon fiends, I summon elementals. Like the subclass of that. But obviously the summer comes out soon, so I look forward to seeing that. I can't get through the origin stories of my new campaign to answer Syed without the summoner class. I need to see how it works, because one of the talents is going to be based around that. But I'm really liking the idea of I'm here. Yeah, that's my fault, Liam. One thing I haven't figured out with I connected. So I'm using OBS and I'm using Restream, and before, if I had this connected just YouTube, I can go and click the cast. So I could plan it. I could send you the link and I could plan it. But with Restream, I haven't yet figured out if there's a way to schedule a stream on Restream for YouTube and Twitch, so that I can share those links ahead of time. Because right now tonight I had to like hit start, then take the link and then send it to you. So I'm not really sure how that works just yet. So I'm gonna try to figure out if there's a way to schedule things on Restream so that I can share them ahead of time. I don't have to do it like that. But anyways, got to get back to work. Have a good one. Same to you, man. Have a good night. And for everyone else who was listening, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the content, and